Hello, my name is Ben Dunn from Otter.ai. Today I wanted to do a short video which shows off one of my favorite AI apps, which is Otter.ai, and how it can make your meetings more productive. So let's go straight in. Here is my Otter account. It is Otter.ai, as you can see at the top there. Now, Otter is essentially, it started life as just a piece of AI transcription software. And so what you can see in the middle here, this is a meeting that I had with my colleague Charmaine, where you can see that she spent 81% of the time speaking, which never happens, as you can imagine. And so what we were talking about was just kind of moving files around SharePoint. So pretty boring, I'm afraid. But what's really interesting about the way that Otter does things, it's not just transcription. Now, transcription would be good enough. If all it did was to transcribe the meeting, conceivably, I could then export that transcription out of Otter and I could put it into ChatGPT and I could get ChatGPT to do all sorts of things. But that's a different video. Let's just have a look to see what Otter does. So the first thing it does is provides a summary, which is really great, really useful. Similarly with action items here, you can see that these are, and it automatically allocates it to one of the speakers, which is great when it knows. What's also really useful is that you can copy all of these action items and then you can paste them into something like Asana, or you can paste them into an Excel spreadsheet. But the really cool thing is this thing here, the AI chat. When I first saw this, I thought it was just like chat within a meeting, you know, like you have a window in Zoom or something where you can kind of chat to everybody, or you can just chat to one person. So I didn't really kind of pay much attention to it. But then I realized that what it actually is this really cool AI thing where I can ask it questions, right? So I can say, Otter, please summarize what Charmaine said in this meeting. And off it goes. So those little stars, you can say that you can see what it's doing. It's just kind of, it's talking specifically about what she talked about in this meeting. Now, what's interesting about this, obviously the meeting is over. The meeting happened already. But one of the things that you can do with Otter, if you've got it connected to your meetings and it's transcribing live, let's say for the sake of argument, you lose attention in the meeting, your mind drifts off, and somebody's kind of droning on, they're making their little speech, but then it turns out that they actually said something really important and vital, but you've missed it because you drifted off. What you can do with Otter is you can ask it to just say, could you just summarize that last 5 minutes of the meeting for me? And you can do it in the meeting, and nobody knows that you've done it except you. Now, the other thing, which is really cool with this, what we do at Friday is we will often have what we call an Otter Chat, which is where there is something like a product that we want to brainstorm about, or it might be a workshop, or it could just be we've had a really cool conversation with a client or a prospect, and we want to write a follow-up email. And therefore what we will do is we'll get together, the two of us, just after a meeting, and we'll talk about that in a way that, but with Otter recording. And then what we do is we will go to Otter and we will say, write up an email to, in this case, Charmaine. Let's just pretend Charmaine is the prospect, thanking her for her time and summarizing the actions agreed in the meeting. And off it goes. And what it does is it actually writes the email. Now, this is just an email. And as you can see, there we go. And therefore I can copy that, and I can just copy that text straight into my email clients, into Outlook or whatever. But it does more than that. We can also get it to write up a product document, or it could be a proposal, or it could be, let's do this, Otter. Suggest a PowerPoint presentation structure based on what we talked about. And off it goes. So you can see what's great about this is that once you've actually transcribed a meeting and you've got the transcription, you've got the text, what Otter Chat enables you to do is use that and take it to that next level of detail, which then means that you don't have to do all sorts of things that you might do. So this could create emails for all sorts of different parties if you wanted from the same email. Now I've done this. I've shown this to a wide number of audiences. I did this for the Law Society of Tasmania a couple of months back. And I said to the lawyers there, if there is one thing that you take away from this presentation, it's this tool, because this is one of those things that if lawyers were to use this on a regular basis, this alone would absolutely revolutionize their business, because they don't have to take notes anymore. And the thing can actually write up emails and documents off the back of the meeting that they've just had with the client. So we always use in workshops, we always use Otter.ai as a kind of like L plate, like AI for learners, because it is so incredibly effective. And most people spend huge amounts of their working time in meetings. So having something like this, which makes meetings more effective and efficient and productive, is all you need in terms of revolutionizing your business with AI. Thank you very much. Now, let me just end by saying, if you want more tips like this, we have our newsletter, which is Useful Not Playful. And this is the QR code that you take a photo of and then you subscribe to it, and you'll get more stuff like this. See you next time.